The Jewish Channel's Week in Review, rocket attacks in Israel, why Israeli officials won't be attending a U.S. conference on women, the Purim spiel gets the Broadway treatment, and more of the Jewish news that's changing your world on this episode of the Week in Review. Hello, and welcome to the Jewish Channel's Week in Review. I'm Rebecca Honig-Friedman, filling in for Stephen I. Weiss. This week's top story has been the rocket attacks in Israel. After several days of some 200 rockets being fired from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel and retaliation strikes by the IDF, a ceasefire appeared to be in effect at the time of this report. About 7 Israelis and foreign workers were injured by the attacks, with dozens more treated for shock, while at least 24 Palestinians were killed in the IDF strikes, including 3 civilians, one a 14-year-old. Hostilities began on Friday, March 9th, when terrorist groups began firing rockets from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel in retaliation for Israel's assassination of Zuhir Musa Ahmed, leader of the Popular Resistance Committees in Gaza. Ahmed was reportedly planning a terrorist attack, according to the IDF. In response to the rocket attacks, the IDF launched 37 strikes targeting those firing the rockets and long-range missiles and against weapons storage facilities. Israeli officials said 90% of long-range missiles aimed at major Israeli cities like Ashkelon, Ashdod, and Beersheba were intercepted by the Iron Dome anti-missile system. On Monday, Egyptian officials announced an unofficial ceasefire agreement they had brokered between Israel and Hamas, which was to take effect at 1 a.m. on Tuesday, March 13th. Neither Israeli or Palestinian officials confirmed the ceasefire, and about 6 or 7 more rockets and mortar shells fell in southern Israel on Tuesday morning. But no one was injured, and Israel did not retaliate. Of the reported Egyptian-brokered ceasefire, Israel's military chief of staff, Lieutenant General Benny Gantz, said on Tuesday, quote, "Calm will be reciprocated with calm, and fire will be reciprocated with fire." In other Israeli news, Israeli officials have pulled out of a U.S. conference on women to be held later this month in Washington, D.C., after the U.S. banned one member of the group from entering the country, claiming he belonged to a terrorist organization. Knesset member Michael Ben-Ari was refused entrance to the U.S. because he was once affiliated with the anti-Arab group Kach, which was founded by Meir Kahane in the 1970s and is banned in the U.S. and European Union. Kach is outlawed in Israel, but Knesset Speaker Reuven Rivlin said of the decision to deny Ben-Ari entrance to the United States, quote, "The U.S.'s argument that a member of Knesset is a terrorist is unacceptable and insults the honor of the entire Knesset." Rivlin, in turn, barred the other Knesset members who were planning to attend the conference from going. Those members, Zehava Galon, Tzipi Hatovali, and Einat Wilf, were planning to launch a joint project between the Knesset and U.S. Congress at the conference. From a women's conference, we move on to women and kosher food certification, and another instance of ultra-Orthodox gender segregation in Israel. According to the Israeli website MyNet, the ultra-Orthodox kosher certification agency, the Bedatz Agudat Yisrael, has ordered a restaurant it certifies to maintain an all-male waitstaff on Thursday nights, or risk losing its certification. The restaurant, Hamisha Essen, is located across the street from a yeshiva in the Jerusalem neighborhood of Rechavia, and stays open late on Thursday nights to cater to yeshiva students who come in to buy food for Shabbat. A waitress told MyNet that the demand came despite the fact that she and the other female waitstaff dress modestly, and that not being able to work on busy Thursday nights will affect their livelihood. Women are also at the center of the Jewish holiday of Purim, which was celebrated last week. Following the heroics of Queen Esther and her uncle Mordechai, and the downfall of the evil Haman, the Purim story has all the makings of a great drama. But it got a Broadway musical-style treatment this year, as Meredith Gansman reports.
There are Purim spiels, and then there are Purim spiels fit for the Great White Way. Get your groggers ready. The annual telling of this biblical story is getting a boost from Broadway.
Produced by Tablet Magazine, written by Rachel Schukert, and starring Jackie Hoffman, Don't Cry for Me, Achashverosh is a new Broadway-style musical parody of the story of Purim. I visited with the show's cast and creators before its premiere at 92Y Tribeca to learn how an ancient Jewish story is told or rather spoofed, as a Broadway musical.
The joke is, they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat, which is sort of the standard parodic Jewish holiday trope.
Oxfeld pointed out that Jewish holiday stories are ripe with classic musical motifs.
There are all these stories of like one person who just wants to triumph against everyone who says not to do it, which is, says not to do it or wants to kill them, which sort of, without the killing part, is at least, the classic Broadway musical in so many different cases, the one person fighting for what they want.
But all you have to do is look at me to know that I'm a real big chick.
Well, there's a lot of Evita, because that, to me, felt like such a good Queen Esther.
This is using songs from a bunch of different shows. It's more of a review. There's a parody of a song from Annie. It's a Forcocked Life.
It's a forcocked life for us.
There's a very funny version of the Roxy Hart song from Chicago.
The name on everybody's lips is gonna be Haman.
Even the Purim characters are cast with an ironic twist. Song and dance man Seth Rudetsky plays the villain Haman, who plots to kill the Jews of Persia.
He's just misunderstood. No, he's an idiot. I mean, he's completely power hungry. It's typical any horrible person in politics.
And for Broadway actor and comedian Jackie Hoffman, playing an Evita-esque Queen Esther is a departure from her typical roles.
Since she's supposed to be young and beautiful and I'm neither, what I'm doing is just going to be my most elderly, middle-aged, shry, Jewish, funny broad, and I think that's going to be really funny. And I'm going to do my best Patti LuPone when I sing those numbers, baby.
Participating in this parody is her way of paying homage to her Orthodox upbringing.
Well, that yeshiva education has got to do me some good. I mean, I didn't marry a Jewish man and keep a kosher home and have 10 kids and observe Shabbos, so I've got to use it somehow so I can combine it with my other gifts, and it's a perfect shidduch.
Hoffman also found another way of putting that education to use, showing me the proper way to drown out Haman's name.
Just doing wild, crazy stuff.
For the Jewish Channel, I'm Meredith Gansman.
That's all for this week. From all of us here at the Jewish Channel, take care.
The Jewish Channel is available on cable. Time Warner Cable Channel 528, IO Optimum Channel 291, RCN Channel 268, Bright House Channel 330, Verizon Fios Channel 900, Cox Channel 1, Frontier Communications, and now on Comcast Cable in the on-demand menu under Premium Channels. For more information, visit tjctv.com.